Big welcome to the Million Dollar Women's video series. Well, my name is Rachel Dunn from Girl Director, and I'm so excited to present my next guest, who is Jackie Stapleton. And I'm very excited to share with you all of Jackie's knowledge today. We're going to go deep. We're going to go through some uncharted territory, and she's going to share some gold with you. So if you're looking to grow your business, you're unsure on what the pathway is to grow your business or to scale your business, perhaps your business is at a point where you feel like you don't know what the next move should be. Perhaps you feel stuck because you are trying to grow, but you don't know what to do next or how to scale or to employ people or not. Jackie's got some fantastic suggestions today. So stay tuned and here we go. Jackie, welcome to the Million Dollar Women's video series.
Thank you very much.
I'm so excited you're here because we're going to dive deep and share lots of your wisdom and what things have been in the way, what growths happen, all the diving deep into some of the questions that people don't often understand as you're growing your business and some of the things that can get in the way. So I'd love to kick off with just a little bit about your company. Tell me about what you do and tell me a bit about your company.
So what we do, we're auditor training online. So we provide online training primarily for auditors in management systems. So it's not financial auditing, which is traditionally what people think as soon as we introduce ourselves as auditors. We provide training in how to conduct audits against international standards around OH&S, environmental management systems, quality management systems. So that's all about the customer and the product. And we have HACCP, it's called, which is food safety management systems as well.
So in other terms, just in kind of basic level terms, what you do is auditing for clients, and you also teach people to be auditors. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I am also a practicing certification auditor or third-party auditor. So as a training provider, I feel that I still have to remain active and current as an auditor to fully understand what our students go through, but it's probably more so I can communicate what's really going on in the real world. So yeah, I'm still a current auditor.
And what's exciting about what you do is when you shared with me that auditors aren't about, I guess you don't get more brownie points for finding things wrong in businesses, do you? When you tell me a bit about that, what some of the biggest misconceptions about having an auditing business?
The cliche or misconceptions about being an auditor, or as soon as you introduce yourself as an auditor, I don't know, they expect someone to be in a brown cardigan with leather patches on. Traditionally male as well, and probably 85 to 100 years old. So because you do have to have a certain level of experience as an auditor. So I suppose, that misconception is that we're actually normal people. We actually laugh and we have fun. We do silly things. We make mistakes ourselves. And really, we're not like the finger-pointing police. We're there to work with people to improve their business. So I always say we work with them. We're not there, as you said, I don't get paid any extra for every non-conformance that I raise. So that's not what's driving us as auditors.
Because I think there's a bit of a paradigm out there around auditing. As soon as you hear that word, it's like, oh, what have I done wrong? And oh my God, I don't want that to happen. But really you come in and help systemize and look at how to make a business grow better or what they may be.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Tell me about your idea for the company and, how has it evolved over time? Like, did you start by saying, I'm going to grow a really successful business and that's it?
It started as a concept or an offshoot from a training, the traditional classroom training. So I was actually a contractor to one of those traditional training providers, again, training in exactly what we're providing, auditing and management systems, but I was in the classroom, which I still do occasionally for corporate groups as well. So it was an idea and concept from between myself and my business partners now, who are now retired. They sold that original business, so they're my mentors, I will say. So they're silent business partners, but he was an auditor as well, and we worked together as auditors. So it was something that conceptually they had thought of as a traditional classroom training provider, but then I came along, and between the three of us, we joined forces. So this was June. I'll say in June 2013. I think it was the 11th of June 2013. We had our first course certified and ready to release on our platform. So the three of us had been working together probably 12 to 18 months before that, just to get this first course up there. I still remember our first enrollment, how exciting it was. But
Wow.
that's where the idea came from, is that, well, surely we can provide what we're, I suppose, facilitating in the classroom. Surely we can provide that online. So that's where we were heading.
Great. And did you feel that it was going to be as successful as it is now? Did you make a conscious decision that it was going to be successful before it started to kick lots of goals and you started to grow?
Interesting question, because I don't know whether I thought, okay, this will succeed. I just always thought it would. You know what I mean? So the idea for this was, and still is, it's still something that's raised, I think, nearly every week, is that I can lay on a beach sipping a cocktail from anywhere in the world. So that's still what I'm going to do. And we'll be selling courses. So the courses, and it's international. The courses aren't just Australian based, they're international. We sell all over the world. So I can be anywhere, and the courses will be ticking over and selling while I'm laying on a beach sipping a cocktail. It's my retirement plan. But I probably won't be retired. I'll still be working because I enjoy it. But I think because I always had that picture in my head, that's what I'm always aiming for. And our IT guy, actually, he's been with us since the beginning. He still brings it up every time we're making changes to our website or our portal, our student portal, or our learning management system. How he develops and creates it has to be agile and flexible, so that he always says, remember, Jackie needs to lay on a beach somewhere. So he doesn't want it labor intensive. We need it to be flexible and agile.
Great. I love that image. So have you got an image like that you've got on a vision board or something like that?
That's what I write every morning in my self-image. So I'm happy and grateful for, and that's really where I want ATOL, Auditor Training Online, to be. But that self-image is me. Anywhere in the world, I always say I'm tanned. So obviously I'm on the beach somewhere. I'm tanned and healthy and fit. So I always have that image in my head. That's where I want to head. And I don't know whether I've done that consciously. That's the right word. But that's something that's always been something in my head. And everyone in the business knows that that's the goal. So I can lay on the beach. Yeah.
I love that. And it's good that everybody's on board with that goal too. Does everybody else want to lie on the beach too? Or are they just trying to help you to lie on the beach?
I think at this stage they're just trying to help me to lie on the beach.
So how did you grow up around money? Because you've grown, it's a multi-million-dollar company now. How did you grow up around money? Did you have wealth in your family or?
No, not particularly. My parents are both Dutch, hard workers. So they had their own business. So I grew up in a business family. So mum and dad had a service station. This was all together in one business. Service station, takeaway, news agent, post office, and a Commonwealth Bank agency.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we lived on the back of it as well. So we lived and breathed the business. So mum and dad, that was 7 days a week, 4 o'clock in the morning till 9 p.m. at night.
Wow.
Yeah.
So owned all of those places?
Yes. So it was all like one business. Yeah. So all together in a country town, sort of west of Brisbane. So I was brought up in my teens working in the business for nothing. But I think that's just what I thought you did. And, I knew how to run the business. I always tell people when I was 15, 16, mum and dad would go and have their break in the school holidays. So they'd go away for a week or so, and they'd leave me to run the business. So I was 15 and 16.
Wow. By yourself?
By myself.
Wow.
So they had one staff member that used to come during the day. So I would wake up at 4 a.m., open up, and then work until 9 p.m. I'd do the book, so the old-fashioned ledgers. So count the money, no FPOS in those days. So it was all cash.
Was that legal to let you, a 15-year-old? Because I remember when I was 15, I don't know if it was quite legal yet to be able.
I don't know. It probably, I think if someone did it these days, people would go, "What are you doing?" But they had the local policeman drop in and check on me, and he'd take the money to the bank each day. Yeah. So I think I just grew up around a business and business-minded people. So I wouldn't say mum and dad were flush with money. They were comfortable, but they worked damn hard for it.
What do you think the biggest lesson that you learned from your parents was when you were growing up that you brought into your adult life?
The first thing that comes to mind is hard work, and I'm always hesitant to say that because I don't want to promote that you have to work hard to be successful. And I suppose I do work hard. I put everything I have into it, but the difference is, and this sounds really cliche as well, I enjoy doing it. It's like building something. So even if I'm doing some craft work or building it, something that you can physically see, to me, that's the reward. You can see the rewards out of the concept and ideas that you come up with. So to me, that's all I'm doing is I'm creating something. So I don't see it as work. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. It's very exciting. So I think work ethic, maybe. Actually, that's probably a better word, work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So always see what has to be done and stick your hands up to do it. So not just step over the rubbish on the floor. If something has to be done, stick your hand up and do it. And that's really what I do we just have a small team. We all chip in. We all have to be multi-skilled, and we all have to back each other up. So I still take the phone calls. I still respond to student inquiries. I'll follow up invoices. So anything that has to be done, we all chip in. So maybe work ethic is a better word.
So what do you feel like were the biggest challenges for you as you were growing? Say if you were growing from a 100K business to $1 million business, what do you think the biggest lessons were in that growth?
Just do it. You don't have to get it perfect to start with. And actually, you teach us that with a video, I've just realised. So there's a saying. I've actually got two sayings I've got behind me at my desk. And again, everyone that works for us knows that they're my sayings. So if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you launch too late.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and also continual improvement is better than delayed perfection.
And that's so good for anybody doing an online program. I was actually just talking to a lady before, and I was saying to her, 'cause she was talking about beta testing, and that's a whole conversation in itself. But I said, every course is in beta testing all the time because you're always improving it.
Absolutely.
So there is no such thing as a beta test.
No, you're absolutely right. And we get to the pointy end of releasing our courses, and we have to get to the point of going, okay, version 1, version 2. Because if you just kept going, you would never, ever release it. So we release it and we figure it out as we go. But you know what? What we think might be showstoppers or an issue, it's actually our students that help us to understand what really are the areas for improvement. So the longer we keep it to ourselves, the less opportunity we have for the real people, our students, to check it out for us and give us the real feedback.
Wow.
So
Good.
I think their feedback is far more valuable than ours, because we just think we know. It's the students that really know and give us that valuable feedback. So I think that's the main thing is just do it, get it out there, and learn from what you've done. Something like, we've gone through some changes recently, and I've gone back on decisions that I may have made in the last 12 months. And some people go, oh, yeah, that wasn't a good decision. Well, yeah, it was at the time. It fit the circumstances at the time. So I made a decision around that. It served a purpose. I sat with it for a while and then got, okay, no, we can do better. Okay, we'll just change. So everything serves a purpose along the way, and you can only learn from it. So I never beat myself up about making mistakes, if that's what you want to call it. It's just, learning.
I was fascinated, and I've been fascinated with the pathway from, say, 100K to $1 million business.
Yep.
And I remember a few years ago, and when I saw there was 29 steps that I saw this particular person wrote down, and I was fascinated in those steps. And a lot of those steps are absolutely, I can see, really valid. And I'd love to know not what your 29 steps are, but what your steps would be from 100K to 1 million. What would be the pathway or the important steps one would need to take in any business to start to create that income and that mindset?
Yeah, so I suppose to me, I see that 100K and then moving to the 1 million mark or more, sort of as that exponential growth. So that whole snowball effect. So that 100K to me is probably the easy part. Okay, it's just ticking over. But now what do we do? And I suppose what I said previously, 2 of the steps, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, and don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. But something else I thought of, and actually I had a Zoom today with a representative from the Auditing Association body. He's based in California, and I thought at that point, I have built a relationship with this body over the years. And it's not just the body, it's the people within it. So you can go to this body and everyone will know who Jackie is. She's not a pain, so don't be a pain to people either, but she can help you as well to build your association while helping herself. So it's that relationship building. I'm hesitant to say networking because this is a next step. So it's a relationship. We work together to provide solutions to the same, I suppose, market, because if they're all auditors, they're all consultants. So if we work together, we can help the same group of people. So I think forming those key industry relationships is, honestly, you can't beat. I don't want to give my secret away though, but to me, that's what's helped Auditor Training Online to move to the next level, is to continue to work my relationships with those industry bodies. So there's many of them, but I've put my focus into one in particular. They are international, and I think by staying loyal to them, they'll stay loyal to me. I'm not saying that in the future I'm not going to broaden our basket, but I think that relationship building is one other step.
So would you say, so far from going, if somebody in any business was to get some wisdom from where you've grown, you'd say, first of all, just get it out there. If you're not embarrassed, then it's too late. I love that. That's so good. And then just get it out there. Number 3, building relationships with industry bodies that you can really cement those relationships and help people together.
Yes.
Collaboration. So that would be another step. So
absolutely. That's just, that sort of helps to snowball the growth. Something else I can think of is surround yourself with people that know stuff that you don't know. So obviously initially when you get your business started, you're probably it. And I was it. I used to audit every day, go out and audit. I'd come home at night, answer we did it by email then, we didn't have a CRM or anything. I'd answer all of the inquiries at night, help anyone out during the day. I did it all myself, and we got to the point where I was struggling to do it. So we got our first employee, I think it must be 5 years this year. She's still with us. So our very first employee is still here. And so she took that load off me and started automating stuff. And she was very good in writing documents and talking to customers. So she took that from me as well. So she had skills that I did not. So she took it to the next level while I was still out auditing. Then we had other team members join us as well that brought different skills to what myself and Kelly had as well. And we continue to do that. So it's no good if I have like team members work with us that can do what I can do and what Kelly can do. Yes, we need to back each other up, but we need to bring a different skill set in. So that diversification between the team members. We also have to be multi-skilled because we're small, so we have to back each other up. So I think that's important. So surround yourself by people that can do what you can't do.
And knowing when to scale, because that can sometimes be hard for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, well, I can't really afford this person or this VA, or is that going to help me grow? So was that hard for you to make that decision?
Oh, absolutely, because obviously it's an expense, and you sort of see that. But the thing is, normally, and this is what's happened to us, every time we've invested in getting someone new, they've been part of our growth, because you can't grow by being slow. I just made that up then. Because if we're taking forever to get new courses out there and value adding different offerings, well, we're of no value to our existing students, and any new students might not see the growth that they could get from us. So if we're slow and stagnant, well, the business is actually going to go backwards. So in every instance, most instances, I can think of one that maybe it didn't work out this way, but that's fixed now. But every time we put someone else on, we've gone through a growth spurt. So that initial concern about, it's sort of more money out, it's actually contributed to our growth.
That's
so
great.
Yeah,
I love that. A lot of people don't see that, and so it's really good to hear it from you that's been through it, and you can. Yeah, it's been scary, but you can now look back at history and see where those growth patterns have occurred.
Absolutely.
Good. Any other pathways or any other parts of the path that you think are important for somebody growing?
I've got one more thing I can think of, is have a good mentor. So someone that you can run things by. So I'm lucky enough to have my business partners. They're silent business partners, but they're always there for me to phone and run ideas by. I get free creative license to do whatever I need to do in the business, but sometimes, you're just not sure and you need to run something by them. And they actually help you to think a little differently as well, because when you work within the business, you're sometimes a bit, you got your blinkers on. But when you have someone that's external, they help you to see things. And sometimes it takes me a while to process the ideas. I might not agree at first, and they just leave me to process it. And then, within a few weeks, I've processed it and go, okay, now I know what I need to do. So I think it's really important to have, and I call them mentors. It's really important to have someone to run things by, to make decisions for the business. So, and again, that just contributes to the growth. So I don't know if they're not real tangible things I've told you, Rachel, but they're more soft.
And what would be a tangible thing then?
The tools. And I suppose that depends on what type of business you've got. So, because ours is more of a service, I suppose. It's not we don't make a physical product. Well, we do, but you can't touch it. So I think it's the tools that you use. So for us, the tools are our learning management system. So that we actually still have the same learning management system platform that we first got in 2013, so 7 years ago. And it was quite a process for me to go through to find which platform would be best for our business. And I'm not saying we don't have our problems with it, but it's the devil you know, and it's been able to grow with us. So great, good platforms. Same with our IT guy. So the platforms that we use to integrate our website and our learning management system. So all the APIs in between. He's just brilliant. So again, I refer to that as a platform, but it's also people. But it's not only the tools that our students see, so that's our customers. It's the tools we use as a team. So,
like team management software. So
exactly.
Asana and Trello.
Yep, absolutely. Because otherwise, if you're bogged down by the old school email back and forth, you don't know what your next steps are. So yeah, we use Asana for all of our project management. So any tasks that we have, small or full-blown projects of delivering new courses or revamps, it's all in Asana. We use Slack. So because we all work remotely, so we use Slack to message each other. So that's just short, quick. I always say to them, we use Slack like as if we were in an office, and we say, hey, we could turn around and say, hey, ask a question, but you also have to consider that it's interrupting people. So you need to respect that. So we do have do not disturb days for different team members so they can focus. What else? Oh, Zoom. And we just go, if it's too hard in Slack, it's, hey, let's have a quick Zoom. We can share the screen. We can see what each other is doing. And look, it doesn't replace seeing people face to face. We still get together regularly and catch up face to face and really, work through any issues where we need everyone in the room. Every Monday morning, we have what we call a Monday muster. So all the team gets together. We talk about the week that's ahead and where we all fit into that. So communication is another thing, but I think we finally got the tools right to allow us to be able to focus on getting stuff out and developed and not get bogged down in like email and who's doing what next.
I love that. You've shared so much gold in just the way that you communicate and just some of the little quirky names and things that you've got. I think that's what makes it fun as well, just in the environment. So yeah, I love that. And do you come up with those ideas, or do you take that to the team and the team come up with the ideas with you?
Yeah, I think it is a team effort. So with Asana, I worked with one person in particular to test it. We tested Trello as well because they've all got, pros and cons. We just had to see what fits in the best with us. But they're all, everyone sort of stays in touch with what's out there and what's changing. So we're all very good at sharing what's new out there as well. So if something does change or if something's, worth giving it a shot, well, we'll always try it.
Great. Cool. Yeah, I love that. What were the 3 biggest challenges that you personally had to overcome to reach $1 million business?
I did have trouble coming up with something here because I know everything's a challenge in some regards, but I think it's
just something that you felt was hard at the time that you had to grow into.
Yeah, I think it goes back to having the right people. At one stage, we did have the wrong mix, and something I learned, and it was challenging. While I knew I had the wrong mix, and it was one team member in particular, they were impacting our product and our service, and I knew that. But and I thought I was managing it, but what I didn't realize early enough. I suppose I did end up realizing it, but I wish I would have realized it earlier, was that the impact that they had on the rest of the team and their morale. So it was impacting other team members, and I felt really bad when I realized that, and the extra pressure it put on everyone else. So I think that was a challenge for me and everyone that works.
So would you say making quick decisions based on, looking if something doesn't fit, going with your instincts more, not trying to fix it, but looking at the bigger picture and not just what that person's doing?
Absolutely. I took too long. Yeah, I took too long to make the hard decision. And really, I look back, I knew I had to do it months ago, but I tried to tell myself it was okay, but it actually wasn't.
That's a great lesson. Thank you for sharing that. Fantastic.
Right.
Love it. And it's good to share these things, because I think often you don't get to see some of the things you have to do as a leader, and some of those decisions that are hard as a leader to make. And people sometimes can think that, being a boss or whatever is easy because you step away, but there's so many things you're thinking about all the time to make sure all the pieces run together and smoothly. Do you have any money or wealth games that you've done or played, or anything like wealth coaches have taught you, or anything like that?
No, actually, nothing. I didn't even know there was such a thing. If I could liken that question, like the money or wealth games to anything, I always go back to why we started the business in the first place.
So we're all about following your crazy ideas. I'd love to hear that when you are growing a business and you're creating more wealth and you can do more in the world, like, what's some crazy thoughts and ideas that they may not be crazy, but they just really, they're things that you can do more now that you are creating wealth?
So what I can do personally or within the
company,
business?
or just within yourself, just even being able to, once you become more wealthy, looking at ways that you can contribute, how the company, or how do you, what ideas and thoughts have you had about that type of area?
Yeah, so crazy ideas. I think actually you're right. I probably never thought of it like that before, because the more we have grown, and this is from a business perspective first, that's where I instantly went, the more ideas I have. So again, it's like that snowball effect. There is a running joke, is that I'm not allowed to be away or spend any time on my own, because I come back with all of these ideas. Because, once you walk away and you settle down, even if I'm traveling for an audit and I'm away from everyone, then I come up with all of these other offerings and products that we can provide for our students, or new students as well. So yeah, they always say, don't let Jackie go out on her own, because I always come back and go, blah, and I've got all of these ideas. But that's just for the business, and it's not just for the business. It's, we're introducing a new professional development suite. So that's something I came up with in Darwin while I was away on an audit.
Darwin.
That's exactly, sipping a wine. Yeah, exactly. So and that's something I thought of, like, by adding value to what we had, because it's quite restrictive just as the auditing courses. Like, they were all business owners, they're contractors, so they need to know how to run a business, like financial stuff, communications, leadership. So all of those other sort of soft skills. So that's something, and it's not crazy, but it's an idea. But crazy, I think probably the craziest thing is you.
Awesome.
So I think that's been the crazy. Well, you haven't been the craziest one, the crazy person. You've helped me to realize that it's okay to not be that stiff exterior, auditor. And I remember the first time I spoke to you, It's probably like a counselling session. But I remember saying to you, I'd always been conflicted by who Jackie is. It's either Jackie or Jacqueline. And Jacqueline is the auditor, and Jackie is much, much more fun. My
I
friends
see
don't
that in
like.
your face just saying the word.
Yeah, Jacqueline. Yeah. My friends don't like Jacqueline. But I think it's given me, I'll say me, but us as well as a team to go, oh, okay, it's actually okay to show people that we're normal and have fun with it. We don't have to be stiff all the time because, and it's probably my own perception, is that, I thought, well, that's what we have to do to be successful. So, and it's worked for us so far. So I suppose it's a risk, but we're moving towards standing out more. And we can do that because we're smaller. Our competitors are all international businesses, and they're the bow tie auditors, stiff as like a robots, but we're different. So we can be flexible, we can have fun. So I want to bring that laughter and fun to the business, the craziness, and show everyone that auditors are approachable and we're approachable as well. And you can work with us. It's so easy, and I love helping people move into the auditing world. I love sharing stories with them and helping them achieve what they want to achieve.
And if anybody does want a career, or they're looking for something that to get their teeth into that's different, that is fun, that is actually a lot more different than you may think, definitely get in touch with Jackie, because there is a wealth. There's so many areas of opportunity.
Absolutely.
What you do. So
absolutely. And you get to ask why, like a 4-year-old. Can you show me? Can I do that with you? And you learn something new all the time. And I think that's a big thing, being an auditor. And one of the personal attributes of behaviours is to be open-minded, because you're going to learn so much about how a business does things and interprets the standards, but how they actually do it and actually what they do. You wouldn't believe what types of businesses are out there. It's mind-blowing. So it is. Yeah. So just stay curious with it. Yeah.
I find the same with women production. A lot of people say, I want to be a videographer, I want to grow my business, but so many say it, but they don't. Something stops them from really going after what they want. And I think it's so important to dream big and go after what you want, because today we live in the best time in the world where there's so many opportunities, and not to get plugged into the fear or someone else is doing something else, or even get plugged into the news. Just keep creating, I reckon.
Absolutely. I think that's what it is. And I never realized that until recently, that it is being creative, because I always thought of myself as not creative at all, but it is. It's being creative. And that's where the enjoyment comes in. Just go for
it. I love that. So what's your vision now? So what's your big, so I know you want to be on the beach with a cocktail. I got that one.
That's good.
What else would you like to do? Like, apart from auditing, how would you like to make a change in the world with the wealth and the knowledge that you are doing now? How would you like to make a bigger difference outside of auditing?
Oh, I like that question. Because that's another conflicting side of Jackie. As I said earlier, I like working with people and as auditors to move within that career path. But recently, I've been doing my own self-development and changing and adding new skills to me. I've done a conscious hypnosis class. I'm doing some NLP, so neuro-linguistic programming. With that, I think it helps me to communicate better. As an auditor, it all feeds into being an auditor, but also as a person. And in August, I'm actually going to Thailand and doing my 200-hour yoga teacher training.
Wow. So yoga, hypnosis,
Yeah,
NLP.
yeah. So I can see myself heading in that direction. Now I always say this, I'm doing all of this not to be a practitioner or anything. That's not what my goal is, but I can actually see myself doing it.
Mm,
And it's something that I can take with me while I'm on the beach sipping a cocktail.
exactly.
And yeah. And so I feel it complements what I already do. So I'm already a coach, a mentor, a trainer, a facilitator, but now it's just in something different. And I suppose it's a more spiritual side. And again, that's what I think what I said to you, Rachel. It's really weird because I do have this spiritual side, but then I've got to be this practical auditor. And it's conflict. Well, it was conflicting, but I think as I'm progressing and learning more, I'm getting more comfortable with how they actually come together.
Because they're
So
all you.
yeah.
And we are
So
creative beings, and it's just letting and just going, this is who I am.
yeah, and just allowing yourself to do it. Like, don't go, oh no, that doesn't fit in. How does that fit in? Well, just do it, and then you'll figure out how it fits in. So, did that answer your question? I don't know if
Yes,
I went
it
on a
does.
tangent.
Yes, it does. The other thing that I'm pointing at is like if you could make a difference in any area, take out, like for us, it's around animals or, you know,
Yeah,
so if you had a charity, if you had some cause in the world that you'd want to make a difference in, and what really tugs on you, like emotionally, when you look at
yeah.
beads and stuff like that?
Men's mental health.
Okay.
Yeah. So, particularly addiction. So, I have a son who's been 14 months clean. Yeah. After 10 years of addiction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to make more of a difference to men's mental health.
Yeah.
And how do you think you could do that?
I'd like to, um, as a parent of an addict, from a parent of an addict from a teenager to now a young man, I'd like to contribute and help other parents to understand that it's okay, because you can. I spent 10 years of trying to make him see sense, which obviously doesn't work. And I lost him for quite a few years, but I never gave up on him. I think as a parent, while there is support out there, I don't think it's that reachable. I think even when he was a teenager, the focus was on him. And I know that sounds selfish. And we tried to get him the help he needed, but it was always the parents that, we were struggling. And you know what really annoys me is that the parents often get the finger pointed at them. He's an addict. His parents, what sort of house does he come from? And as far as I'm concerned, we were a normal family that were just trying to help our son through a very difficult time. We tried absolutely everything, and we just had to wait for him to come out the other end, and we're very lucky that he came out the other end. So that is something I'm really, really passionate about, because I have come out the other end. I'm very lucky to have come out the other end. Yeah. So
And I see a massive gap for that, and that's why
yeah,
I'm fascinated when people are, because there's so much depth to when you are out there making a difference. There's always another layer of where else you're making a difference. So thank you for
yeah.
sharing that.
Well,
That's,
that's all right.
yeah, amazing. Cool.
Thank you.
So is there anything else that you'd like to share, that person out there watching that is really wanting to grow their $1 million business, and they are perhaps in the growth stage, or they're stuck, or they never know if they're going to get there? What would you say?
Yeah, I suppose everything I've said, but actually something I've just thought of is, and it goes back to the systems world that I live in. It's keep things lean. I see a lot of businesses, and it's not just the ones that I audit. It's other businesses that I might be a customer, and you're ringing them, and the process that they're following is overly complicated, and it just bogs people down. So the systems and processes that you use, look out for duplication of work. Keep it lean and flexible. So as you grow, the systems you have in place grow with you. Don't let those systems bog you down.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's perfect. Oh, look, so much gold in everything that you've shared. So thank you so much, Jackie, for coming on and having a chat with us. I know that whoever watches this will get so much value out of it. So thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for our next guest. You don't want to miss it.